Good morning. It is 9 a.m. and I am officially in my second trimester with my second baby. So today's video, we're just gonna get straight into it. I need to get everything back in order in this house. Things were pretty hard for a pretty good few weeks, so the bare minimum was the actual bare minimum, and that was all we got done most days. My usual routines of doing the bathrooms on Wednesdays and doing one load of laundry a day, all of that went out the window, and I was just focused on cooking for my family, getting laundry done where I could, and keeping up with some of our normal routines where possible. And there are a few things, as you will see, around the house that just need a mom's attention. So I'm going to listen to a podcast. My husband is off today. He's just taken my son to the shops to grab a couple of things that we need, and I'm going to try and get as much done as possible before everyone comes home and it just starts to get messy again and lived in and loved. So let's get to it. First, we have my son's room, which has his floor bed and the cot as well. Since he used the cot for maybe a week at most, when he was maybe 3 months old, since then it has become a dumping ground as I've slowly fallen behind on keeping up with all of the clothing size changes. I am here, I'm just doing the main wash of cloth nappies first. I dried these yesterday, and since our stash isn't massive, we have to keep on top of it and get them folded and put away quite quickly. So I'm just stuffing in the inserts and folding them up here. I would like to do a whole video on cloth nappies since we've been doing them for almost a year, and I think we've started to dial in our routine. Obviously, baby 2 is coming soon, and we will need to do way more washing and figure out a whole new system. But for right now, things are going really well with our current wash system. Here, I'm just folding and putting away the cloth wipes. We use these full time when we're at home. In our nappy bag, though, we keep a packet of water wipes. We use cloth nappies when we're out and about, but it's just a lot easier to use water wipes as they're already wet, obviously. Now I'm just changing up the bedding and putting on a new mattress protector for him. Now I'm just tackling the cot, which somehow just collects everything in the house, everything it can possibly find. So in there we had both of his sleep sacks, we had his old nappy bag, also his Easter basket and little Easter craft items. So there was just a lot that needed to be sorted out in there. We have so many clothes that we've just recently thrifted, clothes that no longer fit, clothes that we've been collecting for the next baby, just clothes on clothes. So all of those are in this box with a bunch of my old pregnancy stuff that I'm slowly pulling out. I need to get some vacuum seal bags because that's what we usually keep our extra clothes in and our smaller sizes in, but they're just going in the box until I can sort the rest of that out. I'm also just changing the cot sheets. Not that anyone is sleeping in there or has been for months, but I just want it to be nice and fresh, and I just love all of the different cot sheets we have. We are planning to use the cot as a bedside sleeper with this next baby. We had a bedside bassinet with our son, but he just grew out of it so quickly, and then he really struggled with the transition to the cot. So we're planning on selling that and just using the cot from the beginning. So here's the nursery/toddler room. I feel so much better when his room is nice and clean, especially since he's on the floor bed and he wanders around a lot in there. My main focus for today is catching up on me and my husband's clothing and doing a load of whites. I feel like it's pretty uncommon to use a dryer in Australia, but the weather has been pretty bad recently, and when we have so much going on, we definitely use the dryer. It's really handy for the cloth nappy inserts and the liners as well, since those can take a while to dry. My husband and my son got home and they decided to play outside, which is nice and clean since my husband got to it yesterday and my toddler just loves the space. So this is our spare room, which is usually pretty good. We don't go in there much except for our books, but when my husband's on night shift, he does sleep in there. So just needed to fix up some random little bits and pieces and just kind of potter around and tidy up in there. But it doesn't actually take too long to come back together, which is nice. Next up is our little buffet hutch that we got on Facebook Marketplace. I love it. It was such a great find. And we use it to store most of our journals, recipe books, random things that we reach for often. So I just needed to tidy that up. Here I am just going through the drawers. It becomes a bit of a dumping ground like the cot. So I just wanted to make sure that it is all making sense. And we use this bottom section actually as a toy storage area. I'm just going to go through and fix everything up. I kind of keep the toys that we're not using in here, but my son can obviously access it. So it does end up just becoming a second toy play area a lot of the time. But here I am actually just trying to do a proper toy rotation and make sure that his favorite items are here in this main toy area so he has easy access to get to them. I'm just also cleaning up any fur and hair and random crumbs that end up making their way in here. I actually really love this system for toys. It's working really well at the moment. My husband is here just helping me decide which books to rotate out. Our toddler is obsessed with books at the moment, which is so sweet, and I love having them displayed here. I feel like having them with the toys is just a really great reminder for him to grab books whenever he wants, and we are just loving reading at the moment. He is unfortunately getting over some of the books he once used to love, which is just the story of having kids. He used to love the books like That's Not My Shark, That's Not My Dinosaur, That's Not My Teddy, but we are slowly getting over them. We are also mostly over teethers. He just tries to put them in our mouth at the moment. So this is the new and improved toy area. We have lots of books. A lot of them are actually from the library. We have the Duplo, which he is just starting to use and really getting creative with it. We have some wooden toys, some cars, some animals. We have a drawer filled with his music items. We have a shape sorter and then some puzzles, which I keep in these little plastic hard cases. So that is all the toy section done. We had some lunch and just stopped to check in on our budget, on our plan for the day. This is the Co-Plenty budget tracker, which I love. Here I am just getting some gifts sorted. We were going to visit my brother-in-law and he had just moved into his new rentals, so we brought over a few little things for them. Then it was time to get started on dinner when we got back. It was a pretty simple, just drumstick tray bake, so I'm putting everything in there and then just making a sticky honey soy topping to go on those, and then I'm just chucking them in the oven. I'm pretty sure this is like a recipe tin eats recipe, super easy and like perfect for a night when you're getting home a bit later. We usually eat at 5 and it's like almost 4:30 now, so getting that in the oven as quickly as I can. I am really trying to kind of dial in our weekly dinners and just having more consistency in what we are eating, shopping our pantry more, especially with the cost of living. I just want to be buying some staples and having a really good stockpile of those things and just repeating meals that I know my toddler, my husband will love, that are healthy, nourishing, nutrient dense. And as I get further along in this pregnancy, I'm just really focusing on what I'm eating, getting enough protein, and making sure that I am doing the best to control my blood sugar this time around. My son was quite large. I didn't have a gestational diabetes diagnosis, but it is something I'm mindful of. I've been reading a lot of Lily Nichols's work. I love her book, Real Food for Pregnancy. So just trying to bring in some of that wisdom to our diet and just simplify what I'm doing in the kitchen. So I am planning on doing some more of the what my family ate in a week, dinners for the week, those sort of videos. I really love filming them, and they're actually super easy to film because it's just something I am already doing, and it's just easy to set up the camera and film and bring you along with what's going on in our kitchen. So I'm planning to do more of those. So that is our dinner. Here's my son's portion as well. We decided to eat outside because it ended up being a lovely afternoon. And then I decided to prep just a double serving of apple crumble. I've really been enjoying just making a single serve of dessert for that night. I feel like we end up eating a little bit healthier, and it's just a nice little treat on those evenings that we decide we want something instead of just always having something in the freezer ready to go. I feel like we then just eat dessert a little bit more than we would like, but I made a little treat for us tonight. It is a refined sugar-free apple crumble, which I have been loving recently. So I'm just chopping that up, putting some cinnamon on it, and then making the crumble mixture, which was just oats, flour, some cinnamon, some melted butter, and that was pretty much it. So it's super easy, and we honestly just put it in the oven until it looks brown on top. I'm not actually following a specific recipe or anything here, just kind of making it up as we go. But they turned out really nice, and we had those for dessert and watched a little YouTube video together once our son had gone to sleep for the evening. So that was our dinner and our dessert. And then we had a bunch of boxes given to us. So, as much cleaning as we did today, the house is about to get even more chaotic as we get ready for our move to the country in the coming months. So, here I am just packing up some of the books that we aren't using at the moment. I'm just starting with my son's book. And here I am just showing you a couple of our favorites. So that is the video. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to bringing you along with us on our move.